Welcome to Truckers Voices Podcast. Your host, Tim Taylor, and co-host, Steve Brand. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
This is Danny Smith. Just calling to tell you how much I appreciate listening to your show, Truckers Voices. It's very informative. I really like hearing the drivers' stories, how they got into the trucking industry and maybe what kind of trucks they started out with. And it's just been a lot of fun, and I would encourage any drivers out there to tune in and listen, call in, be a part of it. It's a great show. Thanks.
Hi, this is Scott Post, and I love Truckers' Voices because there's always something entertaining and educational for our industry. And it's also hosted by two of my good friends, Tim Taylor and Steve Brand. Tune in tonight. And in the meantime, be safe out there.
Hey everybody, how you doing tonight? My name's Charlie Demchuk, and I'm here to welcome you to tonight's big show. Y'all sit back, relax, enjoy the show. Tim and Steve got a good one in store for you. So have a good night. We'll see you.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. It's time for Truckers Voices again. Hey, we got a good show lined up for you tonight. It is packed full tonight, so we got a lot of good stuff going on tonight, and we're going to talk specifically about wreaths across America. We got several professional drivers out there that's going to come on the air and tell us about their experience and everything that they got going on with it. So, hey, my buddy Steve Brand, he is off on vacation, and he's probably selling out there in the ocean somewhere right now. So he's got a cruise going on. So, hey, I hope Steve gets plenty of rest and relaxation. And he told me to tell everybody he hopes that everybody has a happy holiday because he's not going to be back until after the holidays. So anyway, so we'll just wish Steve the best. I do appreciate Steve coming on last week while I was out of town and taking on the show and having another great Truckers Voices. And him and Dave Schroeder had a great conversation and, just found out all kind of stuff about Dave Schroeder, about how he got in the trucking industry. But anyway, I got several guests coming on tonight. The first guest I got coming on, her name is Patrice Cook. She drives for Snyder, and she's on tour right now with Wreaths across America. But I'm just going to bring her on here in just a few minutes. I got a few housekeeping items I got to take care of. The first one, let me get the banner up there real quick. So let me make sure I get the right one. Yes, here it is. Hey, so the views expressed on this show are those of the host and guest only and do not reflect those of others. Steve told me last week that he forgot to put that up there, so he didn't have the legal stuff out of the way, but hey, he kept it all on the up and up, and nobody got in trouble, nobody got kicked off Facebook or YouTube or anything like that, so hey, we're all good. I know everything that we say on this program is all positive and upbeat. Hey, I hope that you had a good day of trucking today. Tomorrow's Friday, and everybody's going to be traveling, trying to get to where they're going for the weekend, Christmas shopping, and everything. One thing that we got to do is we got to be careful out there, and we got to make sure that we are absolutely looking out for those that aren't looking out for themselves. Y'all know that's my motto is look out for everybody else that's not looking out for themselves, because they're doing everything this day and time except for driving. I've seen people going down the road texting, eating, fixing their hair, I ain't gonna tell you everything I saw them doing out there on the road, but I tell you what, they're doing everything but driving this day and time. So many distractions out there, but it's our job as professionals to keep our eyes on the road and make sure everybody around us is safe. Okay. All right. So hey, we got a good show coming on here. Let me get the soundboard keyed up here. We're gonna bring Miss Patrice on here real quick, like so. All right, Patrice. It's good to have you
Thank
on
you.
with Truckers Voices.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Patrice, tell us first of all a little bit about yourself, where you're from, who you work for, how long you've been working for them, and just anything else you want to share.
Yes, sir. So, I 24-year Army veteran, retired. Um, did had a great career. Deployments, of course. I was a truck driver in the Army for 18 years. Once I retired in 2014, I started driving for Schneider, and I've been driving with them now for almost 7 years. And I love it. I was an instructor, a training engineer, and now I get the honor of being a Ride of Pride driver, driving a military wrapped veterans truck all over the country, representing veterans, doing different events to bring awareness to veterans, and doing this great event I'm on right now, which is Wreaths across America.
Right, right. So tell us a little bit. Let's go back real quick. Like I want to dive into your career in the military. So tell us about that. You was a truck driver in the military. Okay, is that what you absolutely wanted to do, or is that just something that they said, "Hey, this is what you're going to do," and you jumped into it?
Nope, that's what I chose to do. I always knew I wanted to get out of the little town in Pennsylvania that I grew up in, right outside of Altoona, Pennsylvania. And the recruiter happened to come to school one day on career day, and she was showing videos, and I seen the one of the truck drivers. Of course, the military, they have a big long word, which is a motor transport operator. So that sounded all fancy. And when I seen the video and seen that they got to drive, all over the place, I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to travel. And I spoke to the recruiter, and 5 days after I graduated, I became a motor transport operator. And I did that for 18 years. I loved it. I got to spend 8 years in Germany driving. So I got to a lot of different countries. And when I was here stationed in the States at various locations, I got to be a part of a driving team to where we hauled everything from weapons to tanks to different parts of to different units here in the United States. So I've got to see a lot being behind the wheel of a truck.
Absolutely, absolutely. So thank you for your service, and I
Welcome.
absolutely know that my listening audience thanks you for your service also. And so,
Welcome.
so with Snyder, there's a couple of ladies that I've interviewed in the past from Snyder, Kaylee McCall and Kelly Lynn McLaughlin.
Mhm.
I always get her last name wrong. I know I'm saying her last name wrong, but hey, I'm close, right?
Yeah, you're very close.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, driving for Snyder, how has your experience with Snyder been?
I have to admit it, I've had a really good career with Schneider. Like I said, when I first started with Schneider back in 2017, I was a team driver. I actually came on as a team driver with one of my battle buddies from the Army, who also was a motor transport operator. We came in as a team. We drove for about a year, and then we became training engineers. Which once new drivers come into Schneider, we would take them out on the road to teach them the day-to-day operations of how things are going into a truck stop or pulling up to a customer, and trying to figure out how to get into some of these places. So I did that for a couple years, and then I became an actual in-house instructor and taught them from the moment they came in the door at Schneider till we sent them out with their training engineer. And once I got awarded the Ride of Pride truck, I've been back out OTR. So I've had a really good career with Schneider. And any trucking company, it has its problems, its ups and downs. But I've actually had a really good run with Schneider, and I plan on being here for a while longer.
I got you. I got you. So coming out of and I will get into reefs in just a minute, but coming out of the military, transitioning into civilian life, whenever you did that, how did was it hard for you to get into the civilian part of driving? Did they take your experience for the military, or did you have to go through Snyder's training, or did you have to do anything like that?
No, they actually have a military waiver that you can use as to get your CDL. You just have to have your last commanding officer, an '06 or above, to sign off on it, stating which type of vehicles you drove in the military. And lucky for me, we actually drove my last unit that I was in when I was deployed. We actually drove Freightliners. We just had 16 gear slapsticks, is what we called them,
Yes.
M915. So that actually converted over to my CDL very easily because we had flatbed experience, I had tanker experience, all behind the wheel for Freightliner already. So it was very easy to switch my military training over to the civilian side. Now, getting used to having to go through scales and make sure we slide our tandems, and we couldn't just go through anywhere we wanted to. I had to learn those and get that programmed in my mind, because in the military, unfortunately, there's a lot of CDL rules, DOT rules, I mean, that do not apply to the military vehicles. So that was my biggest challenge, is remembering that, I wasn't in a military truck, so I had to follow DOT now. So, but yeah, it all converted over, and Schneider recognized my whole 18 years, and, they recognized being a veteran, and they have great veteran programs with Schneider, and they really love their veterans. They actually started a fleet of wrapped military trucks for just Schneider themselves, not a part of the program that I'm in, but for just veterans within the company. So it worked out really well for me.
Nice, nice. So you're in a different program. Am I understanding you right? You're in a different program than what Snyder offers. Is that right?
Yes, sir. So Schneider has a military appreciation fleet that they're creating. Right now, they have 3 military wrap trucks that veterans drive, that are assigned, that work for Schneider. The truck that I drive is a Ride of Pride truck, which is a Freightliner program that they started back in 2002. And they wanted to honor the veterans that worked at Freightliner in Cleveland, North Carolina. But once they seen the attention the trucks were getting and people asking to put them in parades and different events, they started creating 1 to 3 trucks every year. And what they do is they award them to different companies that have good safety ratings and that have veteran drivers, of course, and have veterans programs. And so they award these trucks to the company, and the company goes through a whole process to pick out the driver that gets awarded to drive the truck.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So let's jump right on into the Wreaths across America, and you're absolutely driving your truck. And I'm going to go over here to, and if it's okay with you, I'm going to go to Facebook here in just a second. I'm going to share my screen with your Facebook profile with your truck. Is that okay with you?
Sure, by all means.
All right, while I'm doing that, just kind of take us into how your week's been going, starting from when you was up in Maine loading, and just kind of bring us up to date. Okay, just take your time.
Okay. So what we normally do is we usually have appointment times to arrive up in Maine to where we get loaded with the reefs. And they actually start the process for the Wreaths across America back in June with an event they call Stem to Stone. And it's an event to kind of kick off the season for Wreaths across America. It's another great event that they host the Gold Star families, the Blue Star families, and veterans. And so I arrived in Maine on Tuesday, and I actually got loaded Tuesday night, which is really quick. My appointment wasn't to Wednesday, but I was so happy so I could get a reset in. And I got loaded Tuesday night, and they're so quick when they load these trucks. And it was just amazing. And I did it all within my clock hours, so that was a good thing.
Yeah.
It took them all of maybe 15 minutes to load. I have 340 cases of reefs on my truck, which averages out to over 12,000 reefs.
Wow.
They're all handmade reefs. There's the only machine they have is the one that crimps the metal around them to hold them together. Everything is done by hand. They cut the tips of the trees off. They pull the branches off, they put the bows on, everything is all done by hand. So it's such an amazing sight to see. And then once we're loaded, we go back to what they call the driver's lounge, which is kind of like a truck stop. They have everything in there for us. And you have Tyson Foods that actually has a cook team that cooks for us breakfast, lunch, and dinner, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The whole time you're up there, you're getting fed, which is a really good thing. And so the trucks were coming in throughout the week. We got staged at the high school on Saturday, where they had a send-off dinner for us. And on Sunday morning at 07, we pulled out, starting our trek to Arlington National Cemetery. We stopped probably around 3 to 4 different locations every day. Schools, it may be an American Legion, it may be a college, it may be a memorial of some sort. And we stop and we do ceremonies. We lay wreaths. We award. They present wreaths to different veterans. They recognize the Gold Star families, and the veterans in the area. And then we move on to the next one. And the funnest part about it is we're escorted the whole way,
Yeah.
so we have the open highway. So it's just us on the highway. They keep us in what we call the bubble. So nobody gets near the convoy or anything, because they really take transporting these reefs very seriously. And even the fellas that are out, the ladies and gentlemen that are out taking them to other parts of the country, they try to get them assistance going through the states and everything if the driver feels like, something's going to happen or they can't do it safely. So they really take this serious. And right now we're actually staged at the American Legion here in Maryland, where we're going to be staged for the night. And tomorrow morning, the Maryland State Troopers will pick us up and escort us into Arlington. And so we will actually stage the trucks in Arlington tomorrow morning.
That's absolutely awesome. And I've been privileged to watch some of the Wreaths across America, the convoy, over the last several years, and I know quite a few of the people that's been a part of it, especially some of the road team captains there. And you're absolutely working with a couple of the road team captains. And do you mind sharing a little bit about these folks that you're working with?
Yes, as far as I know, I have Mr. Teddy, that's here. And he is a road team captain. He's out of Virginia. He is driving an ATA truck right now, the Share the Road truck, and he also has a little over 12,000 reefs on his truck that he's taking to Arlington tomorrow. Then I have Mr. Derek. He works for Cargo Transport, and he has a Ride of Pride truck as well. And he also has a little over 12,000 reefs that he's taking into Arlington tomorrow.
Okay, all right. I see our next guest that's logging in here. If Jason, if you can hear me, I'll bring you on in just a few minutes. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Okay, I'll bring you on in a few minutes, Jason. But hey, so Mr. Teddy, he's actually got the Share the Road truck, the Blue Mac,
Yep.
and he's got another driver riding with him, which is Kevin Vines.
Yep.
And they're both absolutely military veterans themselves. So, is the majority of the people that are driving the trucks with the wreaths on it, are they mostly veterans?
Not all of them, but I would say at least 90% of us are veterans that are driving the trucks. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So I've actually got your truck up on the screen here, and I guess that was from previous before this. You've done this before, correct?
Yes. So this is my second year. Last year, that picture that you have up, I believe, is the one that that's when we got staged last year. So
Uh-huh.
the morning that we go into the day of the reef laying day, that's where that photo was taken. So that was right before they actually started laying the reefs on the stones.
Hey, I think we lost the feed there just for a minute, so I do apologize.
No problems.
But go ahead and continue on.
Yeah, so that picture, that was wreath laying day last year. It was the day that that morning when we got back to the trucks, that was when that picture was taken. That was right before they opened the gates to let all of the family members and the volunteers in to lay the wreaths.
Okay. All righty. So you said that you expect to be there in Arlington in March. So will you be there helping lay the wreaths also?
Yeah, so what happens is when we go to Arlington tomorrow, we'll get what they call vetted. With They search the truck, with the dogs and everything, to make sure we're clean, that we're not bringing anything in.
Yeah.
And they'll stage us at our specific sites. We all get assigned a site once we get there. And then we from there we'll let the trucks there, and then we'll come back Saturday morning, open the trucks up, and they have load teams that will come in and they will actually unload the wreaths. Once we open the doors, we're pretty much hands off from there. Their teams unload the wreaths, hand them out to the people that are there to load them, the family members and everything. And if we choose to, we can actually lay a wreath as well. We can assist help laying wreaths. Or, we can walk around and find family members or friends that people want us to find for them and lay wreaths, or something of that nature. So we have a few things we can do. We also get to go to the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier to see the ceremonies up there. So we get to do, quite a few things once we get the truck staged and get the wreaths offloaded.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've actually been to Arlington several times, and it's so so humbling to be there every time. I don't care if you've been there one time or if you've been there 50 times. It's a very humbling, respectful time. There, reverent time, I guess is the word I'm looking for.
It
So
really is. It
it
really is. I was just telling folks that I've been to Arlington 3 times, but the first 2 times I have went through the front gate, and I seen everything, and it was massive. I thought that was massive, but when we came in the east gate last year and we came up over this little ridge to see how far the grave sites went, it just stops you in your tracks, and it really hits home, because then you really realize this really is a massive cemetery and how many fallen soldiers we have there. And it just takes your breath away. It's, there's nothing you can do. You just start crying because it's just so massive. And, it's so many folks there. And, those are our fellow comrades, our fallen soldiers, the ones that paved the way for us. So
Right, right, and I know that tonight you was running a little late, and we was actually running a few a few minutes late getting on air because my home alarm went off, which was my fault. I set it on stay instead of away, and my motion detector went off. So anyway, so we got a few minutes late getting on air, but I've got Jason coming on, and I'm going to bring. Can you stay around just for a few minutes,
yeah,
Patrice?
yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna
yeah.
introduce you to Jason, and we can all talk about Wreaths because he's been on the same tour that you've been on. But he's doing it in a different state right now. So I'm gonna bring Jason on right now. So let me give him the proper introduction here.
How's it going,
Hey,
Tim?
hey, Jason, how you doing, my brother?
Good, buddy. How about yourself?
Doing good. I want to introduce you to Patrice Cook. She drives for. Well, you heard. She drives for Snyder there,
Nice
and
to
Hi,
meet
Mr. Jackson.
so Jason, tell us a little bit about where you're at and what you got going on, and we'll just all have a conversation here. How about that?
you. So tonight I'm in Eloy, Arizona. I delivered 3 stops yesterday in Arizona and 1 stop this morning, and then I'm doing the ceremony in Marana, getting escorted in and unloading wreaths on Saturday for the ceremony.
I got you. I got you. So, Jason, when did you actually get started?
So I got involved with Wreaths across America in 2014. Late 2013, around the ceremony time, is when I found out about it, and I talked with the president of our company, Convoy Systems, and got her involved. And by the next year, we got our first load. This will be my 10th year doing this. I love it. It's my favorite load of the year. It is definitely the most precious cargo any truck driver will ever haul.
Definitely.
Being an Army vet myself, there's no better way as a truck driver to honor our fallen heroes and our veterans than this load right here. The first 3 years, I started out delivering wreaths in California, and for the last 7, been here in South and Southwest Arizona.
I got you. I got you. Well, so Jason, now, who are you driving for now? Are you driving for yourself now?
No,
Or
sir. I drive for Convoy Systems out of Kansas City.
okay, I don't know why I was thinking you was driving for yourself for some reason, but I knew you drove for somebody else before. So I'm mixing you up with somebody else I talked to at the safety drive not too long ago that's driving for them. I think he's out of Georgia. So hey, just forgive me. It's been a long week, right?
Hey, I can understand.
Yeah. So Jason, picked these. Did you pick these up in Maine, or where did you pick them up at?
No, actually, Patrice there has been to the one location I've never been to, and that is Maine. Um, so the logistics of Wreaths Across America is they also cross dock
Yep.
different states for like Western locations. So I actually picked mine up in St. Louis. So like Oklahoma, Texas, Mississippi, Arizona will be cross docked to St. Louis, and they also have cross dock locations here in Phoenix, Arizona. So I haven't made the trip to Maine yet. I would love to get on the convoy that Patrice is on, but as she knows, it's reserved for I believe it's 10 companies that started out with Wreaths Across America at the beginning.
It used to be 10 companies, Mr. Jason, where this year we actually have 15 trucks in the convoy.
Oh,
So,
wow.
so they increased, from my understanding, from last year's run to this year's run. Overall, they added 75 more loads, which is 75 more trucks they added than last year. So this year there are 4,400 different cemeteries that we're going to. Like Mr. Jason said, he's had multi-stops already, and there's over 3 million wreaths that's being laid this year. So it's
Oh,
a big
yes.
process. This year though, Mr. Jason, trust me, Maine was cold and rainy. We came in just as the snowstorm was trying to finish up, but it hadn't left yet. So that coldness, it's not a coldness that I felt for being from Pennsylvania, but
Right.
hey, like you said, it's such a precious load. I'll deal with it. I'll take some frostbite to get this load to Arlington.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yeah, it's Arlington. I've been to Arlington as a visitor, but never with the wreath. So maybe one day, because I think they had a lottery each year to get a different driver in from a company.
Yeah,
So I might get lucky and win the lottery one day. But
right.
other than that, friendships I've made over the 10 years with this load are priceless. The Gold Star families, the
Yes.
Blue Star families, because I deliver to mostly the same cemeteries every year. So I get to see the same people. And each year I pick a different cemetery to do my truck and trailer and bring it to the ceremony and actually participate.
Yeah, but don't you get so attached to him, Mr. Jason?
Oh,
Oh
yes,
my
ma'am.
goodness. If I have to
Yeah,
do a different load next year, I'm gonna cry not seeing my Gold Star families and my Blue Star families. They're already crying, saying, "Oh my God, Patrice, this is the last time we're gonna see you on this run." And
right.
it's so emotional to be around them and hear their stories and the struggles they've been through and everything. And it's such. I don't even know the word for it, but it's so amazing. And I'll keep doing this until they can't tell me I can't do it no more. So.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a privilege and an honor to be able to haul these wreaths across the country. And if you've never attended a ceremony, it's emotional. I mean,
Yes.
these heroes here have died, for our freedom.
Yep.
Freedom isn't free. I always, that's what I always say. And um, they served and they died for our freedom. So the way to honor them in this industry is this organization right here.
Yep, it really is. I agree.
And that's a good place for me to segue to this. I just wanted to let everybody know that if you want to donate ever to Wreaths Across America, you can. I'm going to put it right up here on the screen. You can donate.wreathsacrossamerica.org, and I'll tell you right now, Truckers Voices donated tonight before we come on the air. We gave 2 wreaths, one in honor of from me and Steve and Truckers Voices there. So anyway, we're going to do that every year. We're going to donate wreaths, and so I definitely appreciate it, and I want everybody that wants to donate to go and be a part of this. This is one way that you can be a part of this and to help out and lay a wreath and actually send a message to a family in honor of that wreath that you donated. That's what I did tonight. I didn't put anybody specifically, but I wrote a note in there, and I wrote it from Truckers Voices there. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there. So y'all gave me a good place to segue on that.
Yeah, no, I mean, so when we got involved with this convoy about 5 years ago, we actually got a trailer wrapped through Wreaths Across America specifically for this event, and I take it to events other than Wreaths Across America to promote the organization. I believe, Tim, you've seen it. I brought it down to Safety Drive for a Cure. there in Atlanta. I take it on road team events, and it's a great way to get the message out.
It is.
Absolutely. Yeah, a rolling, definitely a rolling billboard for sure, for sure.
Mhm.
So, Patrice, tomorrow will be your last stop on it. Is there any kind of a ceremony that's going on tonight or before that hand? I think I've seen something about a ceremony or something.
Yeah, so right now we're currently at the American Legion, and they have this is the final dinner that we will have as a convoy. We have the 15 military semis that have the reefs, and then we have the police escorts and the Gold Star families. So this convoy is a total of 54 vehicles long. So it's pretty massive, and it was a sight to see coming down the highways. But this is the last dinner that we'll all be together. Now we do have a banquet tomorrow for the accomplishment of the mission, which is bringing the reefs and getting them laid. So once we stage tomorrow, we're all going to meet at a conference center, and family members, Gold Star families, keynote speakers, everybody that was involved. And even people from the public will be able to come and enjoy this dinner. And they honor the veterans, the Gold Star families, and it's a very long ceremony, but it's so well worth it. And you'll need a whole box of Kleenexes by the time we're done with it. But that will be our very last time that everybody will be together, because then the next day on Saturday is wreath laying day. And
Okay.
now when we go back into the Arlington on Saturday morning, and we get staged back to our trucks again, everybody will have the option to be able to walk around and do different things. We actually have a group that's going to the Pentagon to lay wreaths. So but officially together, tomorrow evening will be our last time, because we'll be spread out throughout the cemetery. So we might not get to see each other by the time we finish after tomorrow evening.
I got you. I got you. So Jason, on your journey, have you been through some of the towns they have been through some towns where all the people are lining the streets and all that and waving at you and all that? Are you in such in a convoy? Or are you by yourself?
No, I'm by myself.
Okay.
So, I mean, some of the towns, I get in touch with them before I leave to get the appointment set up and let them know when I'm coming into town. Some towns have escorts and people lined up waving flags and everything, but definitely there's a lot of volunteers that come out to help unload, whether it's American Legion or the cemetery, and then especially at the ceremony. Now, like I said, the ceremony on Saturday in Marana, it will be the first time I actually get escorted into the ceremony to unload the wreaths and for the wreath laying ceremony itself. So that'll be cool.
All
Yeah.
right. All right. Well, so I'm going to throw it back to Patrice here. So Patrice, so I'm sure after all this is said and done, with some of the friends that you have made, it's kind of hard, and after a week and becoming friends with them and being with them all the time, I'm sure it's pretty hard to kind of walk away and say, all right, well, hopefully I'll see you next year. I imagine it's like one of those bittersweet goodbyes.
It really is. And it started earlier this morning when we all realized that, we're almost there. We're almost, to our last, this is our last day of all of us being together, stopping at these locations. And so at the last school, we had a young gentleman, a 7-year-old, that played taps. And I tell you what, there wasn't a tear eye in the whole place. And then we had a choir that was singing, and everybody, it just got really emotional because we realized that we're almost done and we're going to be separating again. And so everybody's giving up hugs, and everywhere you walk somebody's hugging you. We're going to miss you, we're going to miss you, this has been fun, snapping photos. And yeah, it's going to be so heart tugging. And that's why I said I have 2 boxes of tissues in my truck, because once we do breakfast tomorrow, it's just going to be tears all day. It's going to be tears all day. And then to get into the cemetery and to see when the families come in, because the families come in first to lay their wreaths, to see some of the things that they do, when they come in and lay, is tear jerking. Last year, I experienced something I never thought I would in a cemetery. There were 4 families. Their sons were buried next to each other.
Wow.
And they came in and they laid the wreaths. They did the ceremony by calling out their names, saying their prayers and stuff, and then they started hugging each other, and then they pulled out a blanket, and then they pulled out hot chocolate, and I'm like, what are these folks doing? But one of the ladies came over, offered me hot chocolate, and explained to me what they were doing. So these families are actually really close, but the only time they see each other is when they come for wreath laying day, because they're all from different parts of the country. And so when they get there, it's kind of like a family reunion for them, and they can all sit there because they have that common bond of the fact that their soldier, their son or their daughter is buried there, and it's like a family reunion. And it gave me so many chills, and I just cried the whole time sitting there watching them, because it was like they've known each other for so many years, but they've actually been known each other for probably about 7 years, and this is where they meet every year, is at wreath laying day.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Yeah,
So
so
thank you for sharing that, for sure, for sure. Jason, I'm going to kind of come back to you, and I want you to kind of tell us about your day tomorrow, how it's going to be. And while you're doing that, I'm fixing to key up a phone call. I'm fixing to bring on Kaylon Boston, and so he can tell us about his experience, with Reese across America. Okay.
well,
Sure.
Mr. Tim, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, I got to get in for the ceremony. I see the police sitting here waving me on with his red wand.
Yep. Yep. That'll
So
work. That'll work.
so
Tell everyone we
I
said hi.
gotta, yeah, right. I'll tell him not to arrest me. I'm sorry. I had prior engagements.
Patrice, thank you for your service and what you do
Yes.
up there.
Thank you too, Jason, and thank you for hauling this precious cargo. Like you said, keep trucking, my brother. Be safe out there, and
Man,
and I hope to see all of y'all in the future. Thank you.
And we'll have to have you back on Truckers Voices for sure, Patrice, in the future. Okay.
Definitely. Everyone have a good evening. Be safe. Stay warm.
All righty.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye. All right, Jason. So I'm going to put her in the back so she can log off real quick. Like, there you go. That's just you and me now. And I'm going to make this phone call, but you go ahead and tell us about what your day's going to be like tomorrow and how you're going to wind it up. And he may cut in there on us as you're talking, so I'll just kind of let you finish. But I'll tell him that you're still on the line. Okay.
okay, yeah. So, yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna get up, fuel the truck up, and I'm gonna head to Blue Beacon, get her washed and polished, and then head to the cemetery for a walkthrough and get everything set up for the ceremony on Saturday morning. Kind of go through the escort route and get all the little details buttoned up.
All right. So hold on there, Jason. I got Kaylon Boston on the line. Kaylon, how you doing? This is Tim from Truckers Voices.
How you doing, Tim?
Doing awesome, man. I've got Jason on the line with us, and he's on tour with Reese across America, and we're so glad that you come on the line with us tonight to share about your experience and what you got going on with Reese across America. So, hey, if you will, just tell the listening audience who you are, where you're from, and what you're doing, if you don't mind.
Oh, yes. My name's Kaylon Boston. I hail out of Brinkley, Arkansas. I started working with Baylor about April. Fantastic, fantastic people, by the way. And they called me about the Wreaths Across America. And the reason why I decided to do the Wreaths Across America is because my dad served in the military. I also served in the military, and I did it just in honor of him.
All right. So where are you at now? Are you taking loads right now, Kaylon?
No, I completed my. I was one of the first ones to come up there and grab a wreath, and I completed my run actually last week. I'm actually on another run now, just a regular run that we usually do. Actually, I'm out here in Arizona right now.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to let Jason holler at you because I think he's out in that same neck of the woods. So Jason, go ahead and talk to him.
Yeah, sure. It's nice to meet you, and thanks for what you do and hauling the wreaths out here. I'm in Arizona myself too, out here in Eloy. Whereabouts are you?
I'm about an hour away from Phoenix.
East or west?
Yeah, I'm on 17 right now. I'm on
okay.
17 headed south.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I'm down here in Eloy. I'm actually still on my wreath run. So
Kaylon, so tell us a little bit about when you went and picked up those. Did you pick them up in Maine? Is that where you picked yours up at?
Yes, I went to Maine last week. By the way, that's an awesome state, beautiful. Those guys up there at the reef place. I forgot exactly the name of the reef place, but those guys up there are awesome, man. They when I went in there, I first came in there, they treated me just like I was family, like they knew me from 20 years ago or whatnot. They The food up there was awesome. They told us everything about the Wreaths and everything and how long it's been going and things of that nature. And I actually stayed up there to do a 34-hour reset, so I spent a little bit more time with them than normal. Those guys up there are phenomenal, man. I tell you, if nobody has ever done the Wreaths, go up there to Maine with those people. They're awesome. They're going to tell you about how they do these Wreaths. They're going to give you the history of it. They got tours and stuff that you go up there for the places for the Wreaths, and it's a huge facility.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it sounds like you had a good time. So on your trip, where did you take your load of reefs to?
Well, I started out when I left Maine. I went straight to Indianapolis, and we stopped at the state capitol and met State Representative Pat, and she actually rode on the truck with me to deliver the first Wreaths out in Indianapolis. And then I had I think I had like 6 more stops out of there, and some in Indianapolis, some in Cincinnati, and a few in Kentucky.
Oh, that's awesome. So did you get to help unload them or help lay any of them, or you was just there delivering them?
Yeah. No, I was. I helped unload them off the truck because mine was so early.
Yeah.
So what we did was we unloaded them off the truck. We checked them and make sure that they were still good, and then we stored them so that when the reef laying ceremony started, that they can just grab them and start putting them on the graves.
Okay. All right. So Kaylon, before we let you go, tell us a little bit about your dad and his military experience.
My dad was in the Air Force. He did 4 years in the Air Force. I never knew exactly what was his job. He just told me that he flew in the planes, and he was all over the world for those 4 years that he was in. And it actually inspired me. I didn't go to the Air Force, but I actually went to the Navy.
Okay.
And I enjoyed that when I was but my dad was awesome, and he taught me a lot of things, and a lot of stuff that he passed down to me came from the military or whatnot.
Yeah, that's good
but
stuff.
Yeah, I lost him. I lost him 2 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
And I put him in the cemetery up in North Little Rock, Arkansas.
Uh-huh.
I put him in the cemetery there. And I just thought about it, and I was actually missing my dad at the time when I got the phone call. I was thinking about him, and it just got in my heart to be like, you know what? Yeah, let's just go ahead and do this. And there I went.
Yeah. Well, what a better way to honor your father than the way you've done it and the way that you're doing it. So, man, you know what? My hat's off to you. And I'm going to let Jason talk to you here for a minute. Jason, you got anything you want to talk to Kaylon about?
Absolutely. I just want to start off by saying thank you for your service and protecting our freedom. Definitely great thing you went up to Maine and checked out the facility and hauling those wreaths. I'm glad you got involved. I'm sure you'll be back next year, won't you?
Oh, yes, sir. Can I get a shout out? Can I get a shout out to Miss Carey and the Baylor team?
Yeah, most definitely.
Look, he's freaking awesome. If I'm not mistaken, she had 2 trucks specially designed. She actually put me in one of the trucks that I'm in right now. specially designed just for this, and she has trailers made just for this as well, or whatnot. They was really deep in it. They was, man, these guys are freaking awesome. They're awesome to work for. They treat me like family. They treat everybody that works there like family. And I just wanted to give a shout out to them. And I'm hoping that they're listening to let them know how much I appreciate them for the opportunity of working and also the opportunity of doing those wreaths.
Absolutely. Carrie Baylor is an awesome person. You're working for an awesome outfit there, Baylor Trucking. And I know you got Miss Elizabeth Barner there helping out with everything. So you've got an awesome team going on there, man.
Absolutely.
I do.
So you're blessed for sure. So Kaylon, thank you for coming on Truckers Voices tonight, man, and sharing with us. It's been a great honor talking to you. You can go back and listen to the broadcast, after the show's over. It'll be on Facebook. It'll also be on Spotify and Apple in a couple of days. So, just kind of go out and share it with everybody. But man, thank you for coming on.
Yes, thank you.
All right, thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. And truck safe out there, okay?
Yes, sir.
Bye-bye. All right, Jason. So we got one more call we got to make tonight to one more fella that's out there trucking with Reese. But man, see, hey, you just absolutely become my co-host tonight. You didn't realize it, but you kind of become
it's all good.
Steve decided he wanted to go on vacation, so hey, you know what? I needed some help there. So
I think Steve needed a vacation.
Yeah, Steve needed a vacation. He's out, like I said, he's out on a boat somewhere. So let me see if I can get this other guy's name pulled up. Is there anything that you want to share with the listening audience about, Reese and how they can get involved with us with it?
Sure, absolutely. They can look up my Facebook profile, Jason Dandron. I do a lot of posts this time of year, as you've seen. And the best way to get involved is get a hold of the transportation department at Wreaths Across America. And every year they come out and they can find you a load wherever you're at, whether you pick up in Maine or want to deliver on the West Coast. And we always have open loads that need companies and drivers to take care of. And hopefully we can get more companies to step up and volunteer their drivers and their equipment to help us out.
So you know what I'm fixing to do here, Jason? I'm fixing, if it's okay with you, I'm going to share my screen, but I'm going to share your Facebook profile. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
All right. So it's coming up right now. And there's your screen, but let me get it to where I can scroll up on it. So
here goes some of my posts from yesterday and today.
Right. And I'll just scroll on down a little bit and tell me if there's something you see right here. You want to talk to that right there a little bit?
Sure. That's a South Lawn Cemetery in Tucson, Arizona. That was my last stop for yesterday. It's a smaller ceremony, and we had some wreaths that were actually a cemetery here. They were overbooked by they got to send an extra 1,000 wreaths. So the coordinator there got with two cemeteries in Tucson and donated 50 boxes to each. That's a smaller cemetery, and they only had 120 wreaths. So 50 boxes equals 600 wreaths. So they got an extra 600 wreaths there.
Wow. All right. So I'm trying to get Chris on the phone here. So let's see if Chris will pick up and talk to us real quick. Okay.
Hello.
Hey, Chris, this is Tim from Truckers Voices. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right. Thank you.
So we're live on the air right now, and I've got a fellow on the line with me named Jason Dope. Say your last name, Jason.
Dandron.
He's on live online with us also, and he's on the Reeves tour also. But Chris, we wanted to hear a little bit about.
Hi, Dan.
Go ahead and talk to him there, Jason. He said hello.
Oh, how's it going?
Oh, good.
So Chris, tell us a little bit about what you're doing with Wreaths Across America. Just kind of, first of all, tell us who you are, where you're from, and who you work for, and then just tell us a little bit about what you're doing with Wreaths Across America.
All right. My name's Chris Sonner. I'm with Baylor Trucking out of Milan, Indiana. Personally, I'm living in Amherst, Ohio, which is a little west of Cleveland. I started my wreath run last Tuesday.
Okay.
I brought a load up to Yarmouth, Maine, and beelined right up to Columbia Falls to the Welcome Center up there at Wreaths Across America. Grabbed
So
my load. I love the Welcome Center up there. It's awesome. And then,
Yeah, it looks awesome.
then I did my run. My run was Friday and Saturday. I did 3 stops in Indiana, out of Richmond, Rushville, and Arlington, Indiana. Then I brought a bunch of wreaths to our headquarters in Sunman, Indiana, and those were distributed to Osgood, Indiana. And while our owner, Carrie Baylor, she has kits that she brings to the schools, and the schools actually build the wreaths, and then they bring them out to the cemeteries there.
that's awesome. So see, I didn't. That's good information because that's something I didn't know. So there are kits that they do build them with, other than having them already assembled. So there you can get kits also, right?
Yes. Yeah, there's well, if you're familiar with them, they have the little wreath making station up in Columbia Falls.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know?
Yeah, I've seen drivers up there.
Were they making their own wreaths?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Some posts and videos that they did. Was you able to make a wreath yourself?
I haven't done it yet. Usually, I'm always out of hours. Last couple times, this past time and the time before, I was always out of hours. I put in the full 10. I barely got there on hours. I always had to shut down when I got there. Usually, I got there, I ate, and then I went right to bed.
I understand.
It's a long day getting up there.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. So Chris, how long have you been doing this? Is this your first time doing it, or how long have you been doing it?
This is my second time. I did it my first year. I got lucky. Thank you, Carrie. She put me in the Wreaths Across America my first year with Baylor, and I skipped last year, and I did it again this year.
Oh, awesome, awesome. So, do you have one of the trucks that Baylor provides for Wreaths Across America?
Well, yes. This is a new wrap on this one. It's a Cascadia, and it's got they're called the Constitution trucks. It's got Constitution wrap on it, and nice little eagle on top. It's got wreaths on the top of the air dam on the top, and if you see Baylor, the O in Baylor is a wreath also, and it's got a nice little God Bless America on the front.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So we was talking to another Baylor driver earlier, Kaylon. I don't know if you heard the interview or not, but seems like Baylor Trucking, is fully behind this. And hey, you know what? Kudos to Baylor. Sounds like Baylor is a great company to work for. How long have you been working for Baylor altogether?
Me, 3 years. It's funny too, because up in Columbia Falls up there, they're still talking about Carrie's dad when he went up there. He passed some years ago, but they still talk about him loading the trailers with the wreaths when the drivers actually help load them up and stuff.
Oh yeah,
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So what's your most memorable experience, Chris, with Wreaths Across America? What's your most I guess the question I'm trying to ask is, what do you remember most about it, and what means more to you about it than anything else?
Well, but just besides the people, you like being a trucker. You're going in and out of places all the time. They see thousands of truckers constantly, but here you're seeing just people, and they're so happy to see that truck pull up with the wreaths.
Right, it's got to be a good feeling.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For sure.
And then, and little kids just jumping and down. You get little kids jumping up and down, waving little flags at you.
Right. Right.
which is awesome.
So do you absolutely help them unload? Did I ask you that question already? I'm sorry if
Oh,
I did.
no, of course, no. You're the one up on the hands on in the we don't load because they're just rolling on there with forklifts.
Yeah.
Just putting pallets upon pallets. I had front to tail pallets of wreaths in the trailer.
Wow. And about how many wreaths is that altogether?
Oh gosh, I had just give me 2 seconds. I can pull up the master bill of lading. I think I had 5,000 wreaths in the trailer.
Wow.
Yeah, if you had a full truckload, that was 30 pallets, and that's a little over almost 6,400 wreaths.
Wow. That is a lot of wreaths. And you know what? That is a lot of people who have laid down their lives so that we could enjoy the freedoms that we enjoy every day. So,
Well, and one of the I forwarded the information to one of the ladies that Nora Hammond out of Richmond, Indiana, is the organizer for that particular stop. She wants to do those kits too. So
yeah,
That's
it's a
awesome.
neat little thing that you could do with the community also.
Right. Well, Chris, you know what? I thank you for coming on the show. You've given us a wealth of information, and I want to thank you for what you do. I forgot to ask you, are you a veteran yourself, Chris?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I was Baylor. They only had the veterans do these runs.
Well, thank you for your service.
As far as I know so far.
Yeah, thank you for your service. And
thank you.
What branch did you serve in?
Well, I was Army Guard for 3 years. Then for the rest of my time, I went active duty Air Force for another 6 years.
Well, go Army.
Oh.
Well, Air Force too.
Okay, go Air Force too. I'll agree with you.
Yes, yeah.
Jason's an Army guy himself. So anyway, well, hey, it's been a pleasure, Chris. Thank you for taking 10 minutes out to come on and talk to us about your experience with Wreaths Across America and Baylor Trucking and your service. And man, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything that you've done this week. To help out this cause right here. So I hope you have a great night and enjoy the rest of your week. And Merry Christmas to you.
Well, Merry Christmas to you, and thank you for having me.
All right, and we'll have to have you back sometime in the future to come on and just talk about your story about how you got into trucking. How about that in the future?
Oh, sure. Thank you.
All right, Chris. Take care, man. Bye-bye.
Good one.
Bye.
All right, Jason, can you believe it is 9:00 and I normally try to cut it. Well, it's 9:01. I try to cut it off at 9:00. So I know everybody's got to get their rest and all. And so I try not to go real long, but Jason, thank you so much for coming on the show tonight. You know what? You absolutely didn't realize it. You become my co-host tonight.
It's all good, Tim. It's my pleasure to be on here.
Yep. And I look forward to seeing you in March for sure. But
absolutely.
Thank you for your service and thank you for everything you do. We normally end the show with a word of safety and advice. So I'm going to let you give a word of safety and advice to everybody out there before we end the show.
Best thing I can say out here is give us room. Trucks need lots of room. We can't stop on a dime. So be aware of your surroundings at all times, especially during rush hour.
Absolutely. So, listening audience, I thank you for coming on and listening to us tonight. And whether you're listening to us tonight or you're listening to us on the replay, we do appreciate you coming on here and supporting Truckers' Voices. You know what? Give us a like, give us a comment, give us a share. That helps us out. We do appreciate it. But I just want to say, when you get out there tomorrow on the highway, make sure that you, like Jason said, that you give us plenty of space. There's more and more people that's going to be on the highway, especially leading up to the holidays. And we got to have these big trucks on the road to get the product to where it's going, because everything that you have is delivered by truck. So we want to do it safely. And, let's be the most outstanding professionals that we can be on the highway, because we are the image of the trucking industry for sure. So anyway, y'all have a good night. Jason, hang out for a minute until we go off air, and I'll come back and talk to you on the other side, okay?
All right, bud.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.